After 3 decades of marriage, LL Cool J and his wife Simone Smith had weathered storms most couples couldn't survive: illness, distance, fame, and the kind of pressure that shatters even the strongest bonds. To the world, they were untouchable. Red carpet smiles, glamorous events, and a love story straight out of a Hollywood fairy tale. But behind the flashbulbs and perfect family portraits, fate was quietly rewriting their story. And what happened next would test their love in ways no one saw coming. You won't believe how fast their world shifted, from the peak of happiness to a fight that could have taken everything away. This is where it all began, long before they became one of entertainment's most admired couples. Simone Smith was blazing her own trail in Queens, New York. She grew up on the same gritty streets as her future husband, with dreams as bold as her personality and a style that turned heads wherever she went. In the mid-1980s, when LL Cool J was just beginning to make waves in the rap game, fate brought them together. What started as friendly laughs and casual conversations slowly grew into a deep connection neither could have predicted. As LL's career skyrocketed, fame brought late nights, endless tours, and industry whispers that could have torn them apart. Yet Simone stood firm, building a family with him while navigating the chaos of the spotlight. But their greatest challenge didn't come from tabloids, rumors, or the music world. It came from something no one saw coming. In 2004, Simone began to feel unusual aches in her leg and swelling that refused to go away. What they would soon discover would not only test their marriage, but push them to the edge of faith, strength, and survival. She initially believed it to be nothing serious, possibly just fatigue or an old injury. However, as the discomfort increased, medical professionals started conducting tests. Then came the news that made all the difference. She was found to have chondrosarcoma, a rare bone cancer. This is the startling part though. It wasn't a straightforward surgery or a tiny tumor. Her entire tibia bone would need to be removed, the doctors informed her, and replaced with her fibula from the other leg in order to preserve her life. This implied not only a protracted recuperation, but also the potential for a life change. It becomes intriguing at this point. LL Cool J, who is well known for his vivacity, self-assurance, and unstoppable career, didn't think twice. To be there for her, he put everything on weight, including possibilities, concerts, and negotiations. He decided to stay still and fight this struggle with his wife, even though the world expected him to continue making songs. The most absurd aspect is how rapidly their opulent existence devolved into a never-ending battle for survival, late-night anxieties, and hospital trips. According to friends who knew them, this was the time when their marriage's true nature was revealed and all the celebrity was peeled away. The procedure was really transformative. Knowing that her leg would never be the same when she woke up, Simone entered the surgery room. Her fibula from the other leg was used to replace the complete tibia that the doctors removed. The recuperation was anticipated to take weeks or months, but possibly longer than 2 years due to the severe nature of the treatment. She awoke in agony so intense that it seemed to pierce her soul. This is the startling part though. Physical healing was only one aspect of this. This was about regaining her ability to walk, standing without passing out, and adjusting to life without the life she had known. Every day turned into a fresh obstacle. Everything felt like climbing a mountain, even the tiniest moves, like getting out of bed or taking a few steps. Muscle weakness, pain, and swelling served as continual reminders of her loss. However, LL Cool J remained by her side the entire time. He rejoiced for her little triumphs, drove her to all of her appointments, and waited for hours in the chilly hospital hallways. They were like significant turning points. Not everyone in his position would have done that, I assure you. The most bizarre aspect is how he was able to make her feel appreciated and cherished, even though she occasionally felt like a burden. Simone's spirits were poor on some days. She would weep in private, wondering whether she would ever wear heels on a night out or chase her children around the house again. In interviews, she acknowledged that there were moments when the mental battle was more difficult than the physical one. And because LL did more than just back her, this is where things start to get interesting. He kept her safe. He protected her from anyone who would make her feel weak and from the pressures of the industry. He was determined not to let her story end up as a depressing headline. The way they transformed this troubling chapter into a closer bond is what distinguishes the narrative. She became aware of how much he loved her when he would carry her water or help her out of bed in the middle of the night without her asking. These weren't big camera gestures. They were unobtrusive, silent displays of devotion. He assured her that no stage, record, or accolade mattered more than her life. He meant it too. Family members and friends began to observe a change in Simone as well as in everyone. He no longer seemed to care as much about fame, no matter how long it took. His only concern was seeing to it that she got better. This is the startling part though. Both of them were aware that their marriage was being completely reconstructed, and it was growing more powerful than before. Simone's recuperation became a protracted and convoluted process as the months stretched into years, replete with minor triumphs and unforeseen obstacles. Sometimes she was able to walk a few steps on her own, and they would celebrate as if they had just won a championship. However, there were other nights when she cried out of frustration and the pain kept her awake. The most bizarre thing, I must say, was that LL never displayed any indications of fatigue, even during those most trying occasions. He remained resolute as though they might both be saved by his strength alone. Simone frequently claimed that her body was not the only thing attacked by cancer. It put their tolerance, faith, and mutual trust to the test. It becomes intriguing at this point. They started talking more thoroughly than they had ever done before, rather than disintegrating under the stress of everything. They talked about dreams, worries, and how fleeting life is. She would frequently hear LL say, "We're in this together," and she became anchored by those straightforward remarks. This is the startling part though. In the background, LL was squandering enormous chances. Acting jobs, tours, and record opportunities were all set aside. The Globe was baffled as to why one of the most well-known hip-hop artists appeared to disappear from the public eye. However, the reality was straightforward. The health of his wife was the most important thing. His dedication shone out like a bright light in a dark room in a field where loyalty might be hard to come by. Simone made steady but sluggish improvement. She began to walk farther and even enjoy short excursions once more as her confidence in her gait increased. However, each significant event served as a reminder of their shared progress and perseverance. The story is different because they regarded cancer as the force that eliminated all distractions and left just what really mattered: love, religion, and family, instead of as something that stole away years of their lives. And destiny took a surprising turn just as it appeared that their war was finally done. Simone concluded that merely surviving herself was not enough to complete her trip. She wants to support people going through similar struggles by using her platform and voice. And this choice would usher in a new era that neither of them had anticipated. Simone was not going to just go on as if nothing had occurred after she had recovered her strength. She knew there was a reason she was alive. This is how her second fight started, I tell you. This time, not against disease, but against others' despair. She started her own jewelry company as a way to give back as well as a business. In order to provide other patients with the support and hope they required, a percentage of each sale was donated to cancer research and support initiatives. LL supported her at every turn by going to charity functions, giving talks about early detection, and raising awareness through his own platform. This is the startling part though. When Simone and LL started telling their story in public, it did more than just encourage random individuals. It gave hope and love back to those who had nearly lost hope. Messages from fans, cancer patients, and even celebrities expressed gratitude for demonstrating that genuine loyalty endures. Stories from those who had been impacted by their travels flooded social media. The most absurd aspect was witnessing how a war they never requested turned into a source of inspiration for thousands of people. It becomes intriguing at this point. Their love story turned out to be the complete opposite in a field of entertainment that is fixated on drama and scandal. The headline talks of faith, patience, and loyalty. They received public appreciation from well-known figures, including Taraji P. Henson, Queen Latifah, and Mary J. Blige. They were asked to speak on chat shows, and each time they did, the audience was moved to tears. They served as a reminder to the world that quiet, private deeds performed when no one else is there are the true test of love. The narrative is unique because it's about more than just overcoming cancer. The goal is to live together. They demonstrated that a pledge made on the wedding day is a commitment to be kept every day following, in good health as well as in illness. Years later, LL and Simone still encourage couples to support one another through life's challenges. They ultimately had an unexpected yet lovely shift in their destiny. Their tale serves as evidence that true, devoted, and patient love can persevere through the most trying times. Furthermore, LL Cool J and Simone Smith demonstrate that nothing, not even disease, can destroy a relationship when two people genuinely stand by one another in a society where partnerships frequently fail under duress.